Hey, hello. It's me, Olivia. And, surprise. I'm playing Kentucky Route Zero today instead of tomorrow because some stuff came up and I may not be able to stream tomorrow, but if I do stream tomorrow, I'll finish the game. And then we'll have extra time at the end of the week, maybe. We'll see. Anyway, let's start Act 4. So last act, we went into the weird cave and found an ancient computer. Now we're about to get on a boat. The boat seems to have a mammoth on it. Manual 5.4 Context Backlash. General wear on the gestural gear mounting apparatus 5A1 may result in undesirable play between teeth and the context and history state machine gears, causing stuttering, slippage, resetting, skipping. Guess it could be slippage. If left unresolved, gear slop can gradually throw limbs out of alignment, blend motions, and decontextualize gestures. See also sections 1.8 General Troubleshooting and 5.3 Gesture Context. Troubleshooting, okay. 1.8 General Troubleshooting. Technicians of sufficient talent and experience may skip this section. General troubleshooting techniques include hammering with something plastic until the tone becomes apparent, chiseling it out a small hole and feeling for changes in resonance, or listening until the hue clears up. Must be missing a page or something. My savior, our friend here, is in a bad way. Any insight? I try to stay clear of high voltage these days. I don't at all blame you, especially down here on the water. I mean, sure, it's dangerous, but this is where she lives. What brings you down to the Echo tonight? Just tagging along. Ha, that doesn't sound like you. Dragged some folks to a show, just returning the favor. Sure, your new friends appreciate the company. It's no shame to be so lonesome. I kept you up at the bureau tonight. Never seen you that far upriver before. Hope that doesn't mean you've been traveling on to Zero. Yeah, you been there? Zero? Oh no, not me. This old river rat steers clear of weird highways. I've been traveling this river for more than half my life, more or less alone. I think I've seen it change quite a bit in all those years, but I can't say for sure. The water has a peculiar way of making a person forgetful. Some nights I remember a place, but it's full of strange new people, and some nights I meet an old friend on an unfamiliar shore. I wonder which kind of night this is. The Mucky Mammoth. Pretty. How's that cold river spray treating you? Thought I saw you squinting. It's hard water, you know, hard on the eyes. Still irritates mine a little, and I'm piloting a tugboat through it 6 nights a week. Don't be too shy to close them in public. Your eyes, I mean. People will just assume you're thoughtful. You need tea. So, dried reishi, definitely. Split gill powder. Maybe toad? Just kidding. Turkey tail fungus, pomegranate, sun-dried oyster cap, and shiitake. What are all those for? Ice strain. Dried reishi masks the taste of the rest of them. Sun-dried oyster cap in particular has an eccentric flavor profile. It's mushroom-based. I'm a big believer in the fungal pharmacy. Now you're a dog? Yeah, that's Valkyrie. Call her Val. She's a rescue. Isn't she dignified? I've always thought so. Very dignified. Hope you enjoyed the trip on our little mammoth. Take advantage of all the amenities. Fresh air, cozy bunks, hot tea, the video room. There's some pretty interesting tapes down there, actually. Unusual, I mean. Weird. Watch out that the VCR doesn't take your hand off, though. It's untrustworthy. What's wrong with the VCR? I could take a look. Oh, please do. I don't know anything about electronics. Maybe try a few different tapes. You'll get the picture. Hey, do me a favor. Go ask Will how the repairs are going. And if he needs anything. We're coming up on the next stop here, just refueling and picking up a few things. Could grab a bolt or some wire or something. Whatever he needs. Well, eyes on the road. Haha. Eyes on the road. I love the big name. Hello. Will sitting quietly. We unmold and whiskey fan and oh. What gears? What gears? Probably. Who knows? First thing I tried anyway. Down here by this little blue box, I took all the gears out and dried each one by hand. Then I loaded them back in again. That took care of the grinding sound. But her drum keeps doing that sparking, clanking, weeping thing. To be honest with you, I'm not really qualified for this work. Kate's a friend, you know how it is, don't you? Kate was asking if you needed anything when we stop. Hell, I don't know. Scratch ticket. I think she meant like parts, or... Oh, I wouldn't know if I did. Haha. How do you and Kate know each other? So, ever walked through rolling farmland? Sure, along the highway. Along the highway, that's what I mean. Or smaller roads. Well, I sure did. I slipped under or over fences, and I walked barefoot, with the seeds when they were just planted, and tilled the earth with my toes. Hey, I should tell you where I left my shoes. Do you know I'm a classically trained organist? It's true. Look at these long fingers and pedal-gripping toes. It doesn't matter. Minor in French literature earned me a position teaching Arto de Zola at the university. Well, some shitty governor cut state funding for our department, and I was demoted to mopping floors, running wiring through walls, or in dangerous places. Even operated the soundboard at the student theater. Left my shoes there, at the university. It was a protest. Walk out without shoes for something important or tragic. I ended up by the shore, and soon I was drifting along the Echo. Ran for a while above ground, then doesn't anymore. But I prefer subterranean waters anyway. Kate brings me along, and I record what I see and hear. Try to help with maintenance. Drop off the mail and pick up the trash. On occasion, I take the helm. Anyway, that's all I try to remember anymore. I listen to the river stories, and my own stories get fainter and fainter. Well, I just keep trying gears, I guess. Ezra runs up to Shannon. Whoa, slow down, it's slippery up on deck. Do you have batteries? Yeah, of course, what for? Johnny said I could use his tape recorder, but it needs a battery. Oh, fun, well... Here's 4 different kinds. Surely one of these should fit. Thank you. Hey, Leslie. It's going alright. Had a bit of a stressful work day, but took a bath and unwound and felt like playing this game again, so here I am, doing the stream. How are you doing today? Oops, I'm sleepy. I'm yawny. Nice. Yeah, cleaning is good though. I really need to clean again. It's so hard. Really? You were entranced. You don't remember this? It's okay, we've all seen a lot of concerts. Cyrano opened, his tape machine was broken or something. Got really cosmic. Right, at the flower shop. I remember that show. Sorry, Clara. Well, you have a second chance to hear it tonight. That was fast. Got the batteries? Let's see. Perfect. This one will do. So you hit this button here to record. Hold it right here so you can't cover the microphone with your hand. I bet you'll find a lot of good sounds just around the tugboat. There's plenty of tape in there, so don't be stingy with it. Just record anything that catches your ear. Really changes the way you listen. For the better, I mean. Are you playing a concert tonight? I could record that. Yeah, Clara here came all the way from Lithuania to bring this Echo River gig. Haha, it's a tour. Tomorrow I'll be in Nashville and then Atlanta. Then over to the coast. Brutal. Well, we're lucky she's making a stop. Johnny and I saw her play once, and I remember loving it. And Johnny was moved. Speaking of Cyrano, it's his night at the rum colony. Kate said that he usually stops off there. Well, that's ideal. I'm supposed to meet a lady there to look at some old engine parts about 3 hours ago. 3 hours goes fast at the rum colony, ma'am. I bet she's still there. Hope we don't stop there too long. My concert is soon. I don't want to keep them waiting. Nah, it's river time. Nobody expects you to be punctual. Hey, why don't you give that tape recorder a try? See if that cat over there has anything to say. I often use found sounds in my music. If you find some interesting sound tonight, you can help me out. Ooh. Hello, kitty cat. Oh no, his arm! He's turning into a skeleton! His arm is a glowy skeleton thing too now. I'm sure it's not. Oh well, at least he can walk fine. You know, it's the strangest thing. I can't remember why I came up here. Fresh air? Maybe. It's homey in that cabin, though, and warm. It's just that thing about, what was it? When you walk through a door, when you go into the kitchen for something, and as soon as you pass from one room into the other, you forget what you wanted. You have to walk back out just to remember, like you left a part of your brain behind. Hey, I wonder if I could follow that breadcrumb trail all the way back to the room I was born in. Conway cranes his neck over the railing. You were driving for hours. Get any sleep? Just resting my eyes for a minute. Every little bit helps, right? Shannon leans over the railing and looks at the river below. There's all kinds of trash down here. Could have fallen off the hall back there. I think that kid was playing on a trash barge earlier. Should I be worried? He seems to keep himself entertained. It's good for him. It's important to know how to be alone. What's up, huh? Looks like there's something you want to ask. Fine, you can ask it. One question. Thought you didn't drink. Well, I didn't. I mean, I did, and then I didn't, and then I did again. That's how it always goes. I drift out, finally wind back at Lizette's with my head between my legs, saying never again. 15 months since last time. I think I hung on because I knew there wouldn't be much longer to be anywhere to go back to. She went to live with her sister now, and she probably won't remember me for long anyway. One time she picked me up out of a ditch by the road, blackout drunk at dawn. Came around later that night. She'd taken care of me. Told her I didn't deserve it, and she said that I didn't have to deserve it. She sounds like a saint. Should all have somebody like that. Oh, you wouldn't say that if you knew her when she was younger. That girl was wild. I guess she got her own problems now. Wish I could help out. Hey, maybe I could make some money and send it to her sister. Maybe they'll keep me on at the distillery. I mean, no, I shouldn't get ahead of myself. Got to repay my debt. Hell, I should be grateful for the opportunity. You want to die with any dignity, you've got to settle up. That's why it's a damn same when people go sudden. Ooh. Spooky river time. Sure, I talk too much. Everyone on this river does. Problem is that we listen twice as much as that. We're only telling you half of the stories we hear. Kate told me that I ought to have been a photographer. She said, you have an uncanny way of having been in the place at the time the thing happened there. That's the hardest part of taking a photograph anyway. Nice of her to say, but it isn't true. Though, I know just about every story on this river. Most of them I've picked up second, third, or fourth hand, and so on. Listening, see? Now, I know what you're gonna ask, so I'm gonna answer it. Yes, I'm sure they're all true. I personally believe a story gets more true as it's tossed around from brain to brain as the whole community brings their insight to bear on the brittle facts of experience. There are a few Echo River stories I witnessed directly. Saw that big owl migration pass through. You might have heard about that. I was there when the old train station flooded. I saw the ghost of Stephen Bishop brew up a batch of white lightning on a raft. Or anyway, talked to a few sailors who'd recently crossed paths with him, and I suspect sampled his wares. One night, when I was working on the Mucky Mammoth, we picked up a gaggle of passengers headed down to a mail drop by a silo of late reflections. Knew a couple of them in passing. Pair of traveling musicians whom I often encountered on the river. The others were strangers to me at the time. A young woman, a small boy, an old man whose name I didn't catch. Oh, and a smelly old dog. We docked at a gas station so the Mammoth could refuel. I think Ezra would follow them. He's a curious boy. Putting myself in his shoes, I'd be like, fuck yes. I love gas stations. Those are my favorite parts of trips. Just stopping at a wild gas station somewhere and usually buying some chips or something, but get to the bathroom and you have to put in $1 and then you get a little coupon and you're like, well, I have to buy something now. I did go to the bathroom and got a coupon. And then you buy way too expensive chocolate. It's a good time. Cut it close. Usually find this place upriver. Everybody's on the lake tonight. Gas station moves around? Sure, it's not anchored or anything. Could be anywhere up and down the Echo. You just kind of run into it when you need it, or hopefully a little before you need it. Usually stop here once a night. Though to be honest, I'm not sure it's even the same one. Doesn't have a name or anything, and I never really pay attention to who's behind the counter. Anyway, it's nice to see you two. Most of my regular passengers must have gotten held up elsewhere on the journey tonight. It's that storm, I think. Watching Ezra spin past. Look at him go. That kid has a lot of energy. It's got to be past his bedtime or something, right? I don't think he has a bedtime. He's Maverick. Sounds familiar. You don't have any of your own, I mean. No, I guess not. Just realized you two come through here so often. We chat about all kinds of stuff, but I never thought about to ask. About family. We're all the family we need. That's sweet. So, how about that storm upstairs? You two get caught in it? Heard it kind of roamed around, uncertain. I'm sure we'll hear all about it tomorrow. Flooding, property damage, probably killed a few tomatoes. It's got the river churning, and everybody headed to the lake there, where the water's calmer. I don't mind navigating a choppy river, not at all. Got a good feel for it. Plus, it's better for fungal growth. High water consumes the cave moss, and their wet wings clump together into these little balls of nutrient-dense mushroom food, jammed by current here and there between the rocks. We have never seen a mushroom grow like on a soggy cave moth carcass. Amazing. If I could get a day off, Well and I would be out there all day tomorrow to harvest. I mean it. They'll be ready by tomorrow. Mushroom will grow just as fast as you can pump water into it. You two headed out this way tomorrow? Maybe I could send Val ashore with you for a few hours. She got a remarkable nose for mushrooms. You wouldn't need to know what to look for. Put a bag around her neck and she'll just bring them back to you. We don't know where we'll be tomorrow. Should have figured. Seems like you two are always on the move. Does seem that way. So, I should get back aboard. No rush, just wanted to brew some tea before we get underway. Headed into the station? Yeah, picking out a snack for Johnny. Just let you pick your own snacks? It's for the best. Get a little overwhelmed by all those shelves of candy. Too much of a good thing. Hey, while you're in there, could you remind the gas station attendant this fuel is on my tab? Charge to the Mucky Mammoth. Oh, and Will wanted a scratch ticket. Thanks. I think I'll just watch Delayed for a bit, man. Diesel liquor, coffee, and snacks. Let's talk to Johnny and Val. Mushroom hunting, huh? Weird cave fungus growing on soggy moth wings? Sounds kind of romantic, but also kind of gross, right? So, would you fit in the sidecar? If I rode with one knee draped over the side, you could sit next to me. She's an excellent driver. Maybe we could still talk her into it. Looking for crystals? I need a scratch ticket. Kind. Bats. The one with the bats on it. Sure, bat books. Everybody buys that one. No idea why. It's because of the bats. Who wouldn't buy a scratch ticket that has bats on it? Anything else? Snacks. Sure, we have snacks. How about some jerky? It's homemade, not by me. Work on a mammoth? I can add it to your tab. Oh, you know the tugboat? Captain Kate said I'd have to remind you. Sure, they're here every night. It's okay. I have one of those faces. Forgettable. Does it bother you? I've learned to cherish it. There's dignity in being forgotten, letting the crowd flow around you unspoiled. Used to live in a city. I mean, real city. Cleveland, Ohio. Had some family money then, and I didn't have to work. I lived in hotels. In daylight, I walked where other people were. My only duty was to the crowd. I was its observer, its historian, its detective, its poet. Well, money ran out, and I dispersed with the rest of them. Took my duties with me here. Yeah, it really is. I love it. Yourself? Sure, something like that. I like to keep moving. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Can't help it myself. I travel at the pleasure of the current. Snacks are in the back there. Johnny seemed distant. Traveling with all these people might be like sensory overload for him. Back on the bottom shelf is decorated with cartoonish pictures of vegetables. Through a plastic window in the packaging, she can see puffed corn shaped and colored like carrots, tomatoes, and broccoli florets, and a few puffy white discs that might represent potatoes. It's always just been the two of us on that bike. Somewhere in there is surely a preservative, in case the rest of the process hasn't done enough to stop the flow of time. Even supposing it was possible to take on another passenger, long term. She turns the bag over for the ingredient, but only finds a marketing blurb. Inspired by real vegetables. Inspired. Shit, that flood water washed you halfway up to sea. I was looking for you down by New Königsberg, same as usual, but ain't nobody there. The river's deep as an elephant's... Oh, didn't see you there, ma'am. Pardon my language. What elephant? Alright, you're no paper flower, I see that. Expect you must be Loretta. Enchanted to meet you. Sorry I'm late. Hey, is that coming on too flowery or something? Enchanted. Repeating it now. I feel a little silly. Enchanted sounds pretty old-fashioned. Is that the kind of gal Loretta is? I guess I don't know. But now I'm double embarrassed. Picked a funny place to meet. Probably right about that. Guess I thought it'd be like neutral territory, and we both live on the river. It's not very romantic though, is it? I met Loretta on the computer. We met each other there, or I guess we spoke through the computer and agreed to meet? I don't know the terminology. I haven't dated in quite a while. Back when I met Greta, that's my wife, my ex, or maybe I am her ex? I don't know how to say it. Anyway, back there wasn't such a thing as computers at all. Yes, it probably was, but I never heard of one. I worked in textiles, so here I am. This game's, timeline is weird. At some point it said we were, in the 70s, and now they're talking about having met online. So I think there's something fucky going on there. So what's your plan when Loretta shows up? Oh, maybe head down to the rum colony. Shoot, I forgot to ask if she likes to drink. Really never know these days. Guess first I'd ask her about that. If she doesn't like rum, I'd maybe try to take her by this bat sanctuary. That's pretty romantic in a sense. Misty Valleys and ruined churches romantic, not like flowers and chocolate romantic. Of course, they forgot that memorial there. That's a little depressing, actually. Maybe we kind of sail around that. Damn it all. Guess I probably missed her. I wonder if she'll agree to meet again. Sure she'll understand, with the weather and all. Nice of you to say so. Well, I guess I'll head on back. Supposing Loretta doesn't want to see me after all. I'm out of your league. I won't argue with that. Actually, I wanted to ask you for some advice. I had to type up a sort of autobiography for the computer date. Spent a lot of time on it, but only got one reply, and that was Loretta herself. Happy to meet her, but supposing she's lost interest now. Do you think you could maybe give me some feedback? It's only a paragraph or so. I have it all memorized. I spent so damn long writing it. Okay, here it goes. I'm a good-natured man, retired, and spend most of my time sailing the Echo River, riding currents of subterranean gas and that strange invisible wind that moans out of the small tunnels along the bank. Seeking a companion to map the river with me. I have 2 grown children, but they live far away. No goofballs. Okay, what do you think? The thing about the wind is a little much. Yeah, you're probably right. Why don't you throw my poetic side? I'll save that for today. Oh, what was that about goofballs? I mean, like, serious inquiries only. You might miss out on some really great goofballs. You might be right about that. Why mention your children? Oh, just I figure it'll come up somehow. I don't know how few people feel about dating with kids. Like I said, it's been a while. You proud? Yeah, sure I am. My son's a school teacher, and my daughter owns a printing press. Good people. Yeah, maybe I just mentioned it. Hoping I'll get to brag a little. Haha. Alright. Thanks for your help, man. You've given me a lot to think about. Ready to get back on that computer. You have a good night now. What's left of it anyway. Alright. Got you some snacks. Oh, I didn't. Sorry, Cricket. Nothing good on offer. Not even those little gummy pomegranate seeds? I didn't look. It's okay, I'll go check. Wish me luck. Good luck. You carry those little gummy pomegranate seeds? Had 3 boxes at the beginning of this week, and they're all gone. Can't keep them on the shelves. To be honest, our whole inventory is pretty low right now. There's a delivery boat that usually swings by earlier in the night, but I guess something came up. Where are you headed? Just following Junebug. She was here a minute ago. Okay, yeah. Had a feeling you two might be traveling together. I never travel, but I do love travelers. That's what I like about this job. Travelers come to me. Meet some interesting people? I wouldn't say I meet them, but I do sell them gas. Well, let me know if I can help you find anything. My Johnny talk your ear off out here? Damn, he's even got me talking to dogs now. I think I can see why he does it. You're a good listener. Glory, it is good to be among friends. Suit yourself. What are you so excited about? Can't help it. Every time I step out on that boat alone, I think this could be the very last time. Every time I come ashore, back among people, I think, Glory, it's good to be among friends. Help keeps things in perspective, I guess. It's a ritual of remembrance for me. Tonight particularly so. It's my birthday. I am 5 years old. Do you know why I say that? Well, I'm gonna tell you. 5 years and some days ago, I set out on the Echo River, alone, or so I thought at the time. I was looking for an ice floe. Hey, Pangolin! I'm doing alright. How are you? It's good to see you. I was looking for an ice floe. They are occasionally rumored to travel our humble artery on their way from who knows where to who knows where. Who knows why? It's a mystery. An hour into the journey, my lantern gave out. Now, I always carry 3 or 4 spares. You'll never catch me in the dark again. Lesson learned, buddy. That night, when the lantern went out, I was stuck in the dark. Kept my arm extended, running my fingers along the cave wall, trying to keep my bearing as best as I could and at least make sure I wasn't going in circles. Just prayed I'd find another traveler who knew his way back to the lake or above ground, or even just a crack in the rock to get a glimpse of moonlight. Had a large bag of apples with me. For a long while, maybe a day, I was getting weak, so I took my hand down from the rock to tear the bag open. Well, When I reached back out, I couldn't find that cave wall anymore, or any other. Ooh, snow day. Ah, it snowed so much a couple weeks ago here. It was so nice. Especially because I worked from home and I could just like stay here and not go into the office. I just enjoy being snowed in, and I'm sure some other people had a lot more trouble because all the buses were late and stuff. But for me, it was really nice. It was so dark. I started counting time and apples eaten. I drifted in despair for 4 apples. Then I schemed and planned and dreamed for 2 apples. Finally, I came to accept my fate. Lost at sea, and this phase I think would have continued indefinitely had I not come down to that very last damn apple. Picture me, feeling around in the empty bag, certain that somehow there was another one of those fist-sized chunks of life-giving fruit, already softened by time and probably an unappetizing brown. Nope, that was it. Just as I was about to bite in my last meal, I felt a tickle on my upper lip. It hatched, right there. Couldn't have been a moment later, I would have eaten it. My last apple was infested by a damn fruit fly maggot. Well, that should have been the end of it. Should have eaten that apple and that fly while I was at it, and put an end to our little food chain suicide pact, but I waited, out of mercy. After all, this fly was basically a newborn child, right? Gross insect child, but still a child, right? Born into darkness and famine, hungry and alone. I mean, can you imagine that? No other flies out there on that boat, never would be. No other flies to welcome him into the world. I mean, no fly culture, no fly society, no fly history. True orphan. Started to get depressed just thinking about it all. Worked out a thick tear, I'm not ashamed to say. Well, that fly landed on my cheek, right under my left eye, right on that salty teardrop, and then blinding glory. His ass lit up like a candle. That wasn't a fly, buddy. That was a damned lightning bug. So that's how come I'm here today with you folks. Only because I found my way out of that strange river cave by the dim-lit rear of some orphan insect hatched out of my last rotten apple. Glory, it is good to be among friends. Wild story, dude. Wild story. Gosh, I am craving a hot chocolate, but I am so. I've been like super sick lately and my tummy hurts and I can't actually drink hot chocolate or it makes me more sick. Eh, but I want it and I'm probably gonna have some and regret it. I've been having so much hot chocolate, it's so good. I have the like dark hot chocolate. Ah, it's so good. Yeah, yeah, I've been eating some light stuff. Made my own bread again yesterday for the first time in like over half a year. And now that I'm at my new place and the oven doesn't suck, it actually turned out pretty nice. Ugh, stretching my neck. That guy's a trip, that gas station attendant. Did you talk to him? It's funny, he actually reminds me of that frog we had for a bit. Yeah, baking is fun. I tried making my own bread at the beginning of quarantine, in like April, but my old apartment's oven was super busted, so it was not working out very well. But I had a sourdough starter and all, but just like the oven just made it impossible to get anything good going, unfortunately. But then, now, hopefully, I can actually make better bread. But I was a toad. Is there a difference? Yeah, toads are bigger. Oh no. I really like sourdough, but yeah, I get that. It's definitely like I think as a kid, I didn't like it as much. And then lately, there's this good just in where my parents live. There's this sourdough bread that I really, really like, and they like don't have it where I live now. And I have tried to replicate it, but I just couldn't get it to taste right. I don't know how they make it, and it's so mean. They should just tell me. Seemed more like a cat to me, the attendant, I mean. Oh yeah, I can see that too. Aloof, but strangely chatty. Maybe we should pick up another one. Frog, or a cat, or an iguana, or something. It's like a secret recipe. Like, I mean, there's a recipe online that's like how you make it officially. Um, and I've tried that, and it just didn't turn out great. But maybe that was just because of the oven. But then, like, the actual bakeries all have like secret stuff that they won't tell anybody of how they like make their specific ones, and they'll take that secret to the grave. Feeling lonely, Cricket? Not exactly. Not like that guy in the gas station. That guy lets the world wash over him, static like a rock. But you and me both together, I mean, we're always moving, always changing. I think it's because we feel safe with each other, you know? Free. We can try stuff out, change our clothes, swap parts around, just play. Not lonely, just curious, with another person to play with. What else could we be? You may be right, Cricket. Really think so? Wow, I thought I'd have to wear you down a little. Get it with the gerbils. Oh, that's key. Time to hit the road. River, I mean. Let's hit the river. I love boats, but boats are very scary. See that small brick building? It used to be an upholstery shop. Now it's inhabited by a very skilled taxidermist whose art is greatly in demand. When it was an upholstery shop, I didn't see nearly as much business. The old shop's name has been lost to time and weather. This was decades ago, and the only trace of it is now the grayed frame of an old sign behind the new lettering, which now reads Trapper, Stalker, and Sportsman. And then below, smaller, no specimen is too exotic, no arrangement too fanciful. Yeah, gosh, I still need to play that. Bought that game like so long ago, and I still haven't played it. Hope maybe soon, maybe. It's owned by a reclusive ex-convict named Judah. Very little is known about him. His crime is generally assumed to be violent or otherwise gruesome in some detail. Though, of course, that's all speculation, and probably comes from his association with the taxidermy business. Yeah, especially games I want to stream. I have so many. And they're keep like I'm gonna stream the Mario game when it comes out. I'm very excited for that. And then I want to stream Control, and I want to stream Sekiro at some point because I think that would be fun. But that's also just like a huge undertaking. Then I want to stream Disco Elysium, and that game is like gigantic. And just so much stuff to stream. And then Monster Hunter, when that comes out, I'm gonna stream that for like fucking 5 weeks. Probably not. Probably just for like a couple weeks. But it's like so much stuff, so many games. But who knows? Maybe 2021 is the year where no new games come out. Who knows? Judah is old and keeps to himself, and the consensus seems to be that he's paid with debt to society. I don't think Shannon wants to go to a bar. Shannon retreated to the TV room to browse the Mammoth's video collection. I've been playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla off stream, and let me tell you, that game's Assassin's Creed, and I fucking love it. It's nice to have just like a huge time sink. Like, Assassin's Creed is very much. It's a game where I can just listen to a podcast or watch a video and just like do menial tasks. Like, there's the map, and it has all these little glowy orbs on it, and all of them are a piece of treasure or a little story or something I can find and do. And it's like a little checklist that I can just work on slowly. And sometimes I do some story stuff, but most of the time I just hang out in the world and work on the checklist. And it's such a just zen, relaxing game for me that I can just like spend minimal effort to have just something I do. And I like it. It's very good, like, just for that. And it's fun. I did the same thing with Odyssey. I was so depressed when I played Odyssey, and it was great to just sink into that world and spend hours just doing checklists, just clearing out all the camps, getting all the treasures. Then the story is just goofy as fuck, and I love it. The Assassin's Creed story is the dumbest shit ever, but it's so funny and good. With the fucking immortality staff, and right now the like fucking magnetic field of the earth is all fucked up, and I have a feeling that we might cure COVID as part of the plot. That's pure speculation, but I think that would be the funniest thing they could do, so I hope they do it. Because COVID is a thing in game, which is wild. It's just like the world is ending, the fucking magnetic fields of the earth are all whack, and COVID is still happening, and it's just like, fuck you, I guess. I love it. I love it. Birds. But yeah, I should probably draw more and stuff as well. I want to. Blue-black morning swings across the screen. Birdwatcher tramps through dewy grass, stops with a wet grunt, rests the camera on a pile of rocks. Birds from Great Distances, episode 12, appears briefly on screen. Twists the lens by hand, pushing the frame past trees onto the road, coming to a halt zoomed in on a fuzzy, fist-sized artifact resting on the momentary stroke of a telephone wire. Shannon and the birdwatcher observe. He breathes heavily. She holds her breath, like she's afraid he might hear, afraid of distracting him or of being discovered and contaminating his perfect isolation. Traffic picks up, indifferent. As the sky lightens, the black smudge in the center of the frame gradually becomes more prominent, never in any greater detail. Love the little bugs at the bottom of the screen. Shannon comes through the video archive. Question mark? That awful hum. It seems to start before Shannon even hits play. Then there's the familiar room. There are the blank gray walls marked with the tape and school desks, and this time, She noticed a few more details. The murky carpet like standing water, some video equipment stashed in a corner, row lockers. There's Weaver, looking serenely at the camera. As before, she starts speaking, and as before, there's no sound but that hum. Shannon finds Weaver's words coming back to her, as they appear in captions on the screen. Mail, school, and these magnificent tragic horses. Go underground as deep as you can go. The air is cool and the earth is damp. When you close your eyes, you are surrounded by the dead. Remember where that is? You'll find your way from there. I think this place is what you're looking for. Some of it will wash away soon, but I think you'll be happy here. Even without the mail, school. Text repeats for a few minutes. Shannon stops the tape. Let's watch some more birds. It's raining heavily as the title Birds from Great Distance, episode 27, flashes on screen. She knows by the sound, the volley of rainwater on mud, tree branches, the rusted bed of an old pickup, and the bird watcher's own skin and hair. He swears under his breath. She can only hear rain here, too, in his wet breath and the wet exclamation of his palm, slopping the water from his forehead and shoulders. The camera is pointed at a cedar shed with one hinged door angling erratically in the storm. From this distance, it's hard to tell if it's been damaged or simply left open. When a door swings wide, she can see that the shed is full of small boards, scraps maybe, or rough cut pieces meant for very small projects, then stacked carelessly on shelves, in piles quickly sorted and then forgotten. There's the bird. Blue ball taking shelter on the shed floor, nested in scrap wood. Alright, let's check out the main deck. I love the cat. Cat on a boat. Gotta love it. Hey, No, it was only a few notes, slow and sad, like funeral music, you know? Don't remember it being sad, just simple and unburdened. Maybe that's what funeral music sounds like to me, unburdened. Oh, hello. Kate and I were just trying to remember the Mammoth song, but neither of us have heard it for years. We'll just found the mechanism. And a mammoth's belly, hidden in gritty matted fur. Huh. It's like a big music box. A slowly spinning cylinder covered in metal pins that pluck her dulcet guts and pump the bellows in her bowels. But some of the pins are rusted and worn away, easy to replace. We can never remember what the notes were. Did I hear you browsing the archive next door? Find anything good? Found something pretty unsettling, actually. Oh dear, I don't even know if it's on half of those tapes anymore. It used to all be movies and that kind of stuff. I like nature documentaries especially. Some people left home movies or little art videos they'd made, but that damn VCR devours anything you leave in it. Just switches into record mode at random, I think, and picks up whatever comes in over the antenna. Of course, the only station we get down here is that WEVP. Community television, you know. We got that show with the gentleman playing banjo in his birthday suit. Sure you've seen it. Oh yes. And if there's no tape in the machine and it tries to start recording and it makes this awful sound, like putting a squeaky toy in a food processor, you can hear it above deck. Awful. That's why I put the sign up, please do not rewind after watching. At least that way nothing gets taped over anymore. Where is the station? WEVP. I don't know, Will. I don't know. Guess I never thought of it. Must be nearby, right? It's community television. Dashiell would know. Yes. You should meet Dashiell. He did a lot of volunteer work for WEVP. In the early days, wiring up antennas and relays, stuff like that. I think you two would have a lot to talk about. He works at the telephone exchange. No, I'm afraid he's been let go. Oh yeah? That's odd. He still takes the ferry to work every day. Sure, he's at the telephone exchange right now. In fact, I dropped him there a few hours ago. We're stopping there again shortly to deliver their mail and pick up their trash. You should go ashore when we do. Ask for Dashiell. Thirsty. Thirsty Olivia. I rarely miss a chance to lounge on the beach around Rum Colony, and I do enjoy a drink, though I don't find their signature liquor suits me. But this time, I elected to stay aboard and shoot the breeze with Kate over some bitter water. Still, I heard reports. Ezra told me about the dark corners. See? That beach is lit by a congregation of amber torches stuck in the sand. They mix the torch fuel with citronella oil. It keeps the bugs away, which keeps the bats away, but the light doesn't fall very far from the flame. The rest is shadows and sandy echoes, and that's the part Ezra wanted to tell me about. He said he found a treasure, and knew better than to pry. Spooky boat ride, spooky boat ride. Oh, if we're talking about the Rum Colony, I should tell you about Patch. He's the bartender, general manager, creative director. Yes, that means he books the music. He's pretty much run the place for the last 7 years. A lot of folks assume he owns it, but that is not the case. The Rum Colony is owned by a dead man named Vernon. Technically, it would be owned by the power company who once bought a sizable interest from Vernon as part of a state-sponsored investment program, but a clause in that arrangement requires them to keep their hands off the day-to-day and most of the profits, so long as Vernon walks this earth. The upshot of all of this is that nobody came forward to identify the body. Patch is a good guy, though. Kind, trustworthy, and he mixes a strong Mai Tai, if that's your thing. Valkyrie and Blue lounged below deck. I like these choices of like seeing a scene inside or seeing a scene outside, but not being able to see both. It sets off my completionist brain worms, but like as a design thing, it's nice. Also, I like that I just chose the option where two dogs hang out. And we just saw two dogs hang out, and that was it. And I think that's great. They are very good puppies. While those two gentle beasts kept things under control aboard the Mucky Mammoth, I went ashore with the rest of the crew to make use of a public telephone. I called into my answering machine, which I routinely neglect for intervals of months to chip away at the pile. Kate checked on a client of hers, and that's a birth doula, in addition to being a tugboat captain. You know that? Clara talked to her sister in Lithuania. Illness in the family, I gather. Anyway, the evening hit a low point not much later on, so let's take a quiet moment here to listen to the river, reflect on the unburdened sleep of dogs. God, the writing in this game is so good. It's just so nice to read all that writing. If I were to ever make a game again, I would I would make a game like this. Like this is the ideal game that I would want to make. Just fucking weird, artsy, well-written stuff. Um, Shanna, Ezra, the old man and I stopped at the Radwaski Center to make some quick cash. The Radvansky Center. Oof. My eyes are a little blurry. I'm very sleepy. Turns out. Good morning. Bags isn't feeling well. Long night. Poor kitty. What are you watching? Security tape from last night. Daryl left the lights on again. Should we slash his tires? I'll leave a stern note on his desk. Spare the rod. What are we doing today? Right, this is weird. You know that old vending machine? The one that only has tomato juice? No, the old one they just stopped refilling. Remember? We rolled it out onto the dock last August, and some scavengers stripped it for metal in the middle of the night. Daryl cut his hand cleaning up after them, and he got infected, remember? No. Okay, anyway, the rest of it ended up in the coat room until finally Daryl was piling it into a big bag for the trash barge to pick up, and he came across this box lost behind all the junk. Check it out. This looks old. Yeah, there's a bunch of videotapes and completed questionnaires. I looked up the reference number, and it's never been processed. So I guess that's what we're doing today. There's no date on it. We'll just have to make one up, unless there's some footage of a calendar or something in here. Guess these are the old tests, before we started doing the video exit interviews. That's annoying. Yeah, let's see. How did we do this? I'll run the tape, you interpret the questionnaire, and I'll type it up. Ooh. The modernist bookshelf with the fancy vintage turntable. So ostentatious, so Daryl. What? That was my bookshelf. Oh no, haha. But you, like, grew out of it or something, right? It ended up in the lab somehow. I keep my books in a pile now. It's easier to find what I'm looking for. Never. What shelf is that book on? Only, well, it's somewhere in the pile. I feel that. I feel that, but with, like, clothes? Or letters I got? Or bills I have to pay? Or basically anything I put on my desk. Pragmatic. Wow, I haven't seen that poster in a while. I think that was mine from college. Yeah, definitely. Oh, right. Daryl swapped it out into redesign. Now it's... What's there now? Yeah, that's weird. Can't picture it. I mean, I can picture the wall, and there's definitely something under there. That's gonna bug me. Want me to go look? It's just down the hall. No, it's okay. This should be some basic information, and the first control test. Subject's general disposition. Jen looks over the questionnaire document from the envelope. Why are you here? The other passengers said we could make some quick cash taking these tests. Pragmatic. Demographic category? What's the first thing you remember? I Remember spilled orange juice. Immigrant. Do you think we should use the old categories or the new categories? Oh, right. Will the computer even still take the old ones? They're still in the menu. Okay, in that case, put in precarious. Sure. Oh, I forgot. Name? It says Marquez on the file. Whoa, Marquez? Are you sure? That's what it says. You know her? That can't be. No, that's not her. Did she come alone or with the group? I don't know. There's an extended monitoring tape here, too. We could check out the dock when she showed up. Oh, it's... Wait, who's that? Guy in the hoodie. What? I've never seen him before. Really? He looks so damn familiar. Thought maybe he was a former intern or something. He's a little old for that, right? No, I don't recognize him. Sorry. We're all deja vu this morning. It's spooky. Sorry, just one of those days, I guess. No, definitely not. She's traveling with one of those creepy distillery guys. Him? Nah, he just looks like some old drifter. Maybe you're right. Hard to tell in this light. Ha! I guess the old man's on a dingy guard duty. Noble assignment. So who was this lady? Oh, right. Well, do you remember WEVP TV? No. Okay. It was a community television station. The Consolidated Power Company had to fund it as, like, a punishment for owning too much of the Cropcast spectrum or something. Oh, they used to screen your videos, right? Yeah, it was like a co-op. I did some maintenance, and they gave me a slot to show my work. They had that naked banjo guy late at night. Yeah, that's mainly what everybody remembers. Guess their whole mandate was community expression. It was certainly expressive. Oh wait, was WVP the one that... the flood, right? Yeah, damn. So Shannon Marquez, did she have a naked banjo show too? What? No. Let me guess. Which of the following questions best describes you? I grieve for fading memories. She did the weather? No, I've never heard of Shannon Marquez. It was a Weaver Marquez I knew. She worked at the station for a bit, and then she left on kind of weird terms, actually. Anyway, where were we? Okay, how do we rank her from the control test? Without turning around to look, please describe the following objects. Bookshelf. It has 4 shelves. It's shaped like a snake. Reminds me of a library. Poster. Remember circles. I have a poster in my workshop. A vintage advertisement for vacuum tubes. Lighting. I really can't remember. Yeah, I like that. That's neat. Average, I guess? Typing. Average. Okay. Oh. How many pictures did she remember? 2. Or actually, maybe 3. What? She wrote down orange, strawberry, guava. Guava? I think she meant a pear. See, that's why I hate this test. There's so much fruit that basically looks just like other fruit. Oh, guava. Does a guava even look like a pear, though? I don't think I've ever seen a guava. I thought they were pink. They're just pink on the inside. You wouldn't confuse a real guava for a real pear, but one of Daryl's crude watercolors. But I can still clearly tell that's a pear, even on video. Yeah, you and I can, but we already know it's a pair. She could be remembering wrong, or just identifying what to her is much more likely for it to appear in a painting based on any number of cultural, social, geographic, you know. She didn't say anything in her response to help clarify. Let's see. Please describe in detail any sensations that accompany your memory of the pictures. Remember the way the fruit tastes. My mother gave me some mushed up guava once to cure a toothache. Not really, just some sensory memories of guava. Guess we should just skip the pictures. That's a shame. It's really hard to measure memory degradation in some of the later tests without this one as a baseline location updating scenario. Been saying we should just use photographs. Watercolor paintings already have the quality of a half-remembered dream anyway, like they're inviting you to forget them. Or somebody else already forgot them for you, like a mama bird feeding her chicks cotton candy. Photographs are... It's not that they're really more accurate or true, but we think they are. They put you in that mindset. They have authority. So yeah, out with the watercolors, I say. But then poor Daryl would have nowhere to exhibit his work. Hmm. Cat! Jen, look who it is! Aw, I miss that kitty. Forget what became of the white one. Her name was Coconut. She disappeared without a trace. Easy come, easy go. Wouldn't say easy. Had to leave food on the dock for a week before she'd come inside. She only stuck around a month or two. Probably saw quite a lot of her. Remember you were working nights then. She was a nocturnal creature. That's right, I remember. Hello. I want to pet you. I want to pet the cat. Please. Is that cat food? Can we give it to the cat? It really is tragic. I like the talking to the dogs, but the not being able to pet them, absolutely criminal. Also, just think of how much more exposure this game would have gotten if it got featured on the Can You Pet the Dog Twitter account. So many more people would have played it. Wait, I don't remember this test. Oh, did we cut this one? What's the questionnaire like? No, this is just... Sometimes if I can't make it in for a few days, I might leave a note to feed the cats. For the test subjects? Wow, how do they know they'll do it? I'll write it on a university letterhead. Jen, that is unethical. Haha. At least I don't use university property and research equipment to make weird video art. Very well then. I contradict myself. Haha. I wonder which is the nobler transgression. I'll settle that question. It's nobler to feed kitties. Well, here's another extended monitoring tape for the waiting room. Busy night. There he is again sleeping. Where do I know him from? He's going to drive me up the wall. You work at the university? Oh, that sounds familiar. Yeah, I think he might have worked there a long time ago. Maybe when I was an undergrad. Ah, the Paleolithic. Thought he looked a bit rugged. That's right, Jen. I went to college during the Stone Age. What was your major? Fire. I don't think he was a professor. Maybe staff? It's been so long. I love... What was your major? Fire. I just think it's neat. Sure, it was the right thing to do at the time. Yeah, or the only thing. I was such a mess. Did I ever tell you about that? My boyfriend died suddenly in my last year of college. Oh, poor thing. It's okay. It was a long time ago, but yeah, it really shook me up. Back then, he was studying astronomy. We were both really into experimental music. We took a few art classes together. It's so sad. How did... Sorry, never mind. No, it's okay. That's the thing, actually. I mean, that's what shook me about it. It's just this random accident that never could have happened. So sudden you could never have seen it coming. Was back home visiting his parents and he fell off a roof. Oh no! Damn, I know what you mean. Can't predict that kind of, what you call it, freak accident kind of thing. A psychiatrist says that's why I'm such a pessimist. Well, I think you're remarkably upbeat, all things considered. I mean, you know, nothing with your boyfriend on the roof, but also what happened to the TV station. Acts of God, I think. No, I mean, that's what you call it. That's what you say when it's nobody's fault. Woof. I don't think I believe in that. What? Acts of God. Yeah, but there has to be a word for something when something completely shitty happens for no reason, right? Guess it's kind of archaic. First, please use the blank space below to describe your general feelings about television. If you have difficulty summarizing your emotions succinctly or have too many different feelings to fit into blank space, you may also use the back of this paper. I have mixed feelings about television. You were asked to watch several videos. How many of the videos did you watch? I don't remember. Speaking of the TV station, you were saying something earlier about that other Marquez girl. Oh, right, I was talking about Weaver. Yeah, what exactly happened with her? You said she left on weird terms. Yeah, well, so actually, she just stopped showing up. That was pretty normal. It was all volunteers, right? Community television. Yeah, people didn't really give much advance notice. They just got bored and drifted away. It was more like an art project than a job for most people. Weaver Marquez helped manage the archives, like filing and sorting old tapes of broadcasts. I think she was pretty smart. Probably could have been more help fixing equipment or something, but she seemed content just to organize tapes. Nobody ever talked to her much, so when she left, no big deal, but then, a couple months later, we started getting these bizarre interventions. Question. The camera focused on a table, passed through a doorway, then focused on another table. Which object present on the first table was also present on the second table? Picture was too blurry to make anything out. You should have these VCRs professionally cleaned, writing my number on the back of the page. Somebody would be doing a show in their normal time slot, and then suddenly the feed would cut. We'd still be broadcasting, but our signal was totally jammed. Or like interference? I mean, total blackout. Then this video would come on, clearly shot in our studio at some point, and it was her, Weaver Marquez. She'd be standing in the middle of the studio facing the camera. Question. You were asked to make note of a fond memory from childhood and associate it with one of the objects on the table on screen. Which object did you choose? The feather. Was this object present on the second on-screen table after the camera passed through the doorway? Not the same one, but another sort of like it. It's a bit fuzzy in my memory, but I do remember the sound. This awful hum. Like that was how she did it. She made a hum so sinister it drove our signal into hiding. Question. The video began with footage of the outside of the building and then entered the building. Was it day or night outside the building? It was day. When the camera exited the building again, was it day or night outside the building? It was night. Then there were these on-screen captions, exactly the same every time. I don't remember what they said, something creepy. Wow. Question. The camera passed through several doors with inscribed labels. Please write down the sounds you heard as the video passed through the doors with the following inscriptions. Travel. Footsteps. Nourishment. Someone hammering on wood. Sleep. Fire burning. We had a title maker at the station, but it was a different font. I guess she recorded at WEBP and then took it somewhere else to add to the captions. I don't know. We all did a lot of speculating about how she made the video, why she made the video. Yeah, why not just broadcast it normally? It was community television, right? Couldn't be any worse than Naked Banjo guy. Yeah, exactly. Some people thought it was a protest or something, but I know she didn't have anything against the station. To me, it felt kind of urgent, like she would have done her broadcast through the proper channels, but something came up. Crisis or something. Question. The video began in one room and passed through a doorway into another room. In each room, a piece of music was playing. Was it the same piece of music in both rooms? No, they were different. Was the music in the first room optimistic or pessimistic? Optimistic. Was room music in the second room optimistic or pessimistic? Optimistic. How often did it happen? A lot. Dozens of times. It went on for years. We even thought about asking the police to look into it, but it's so hard to locate a pirate signal. I mean, could come from any direction, you know? It's all just... Exactly. It's all just waves. Exactly. Waves. My physics teacher showed us his setup for like a pirate radio station. When I was still in high school, it was pretty cool. At the beginning of the video, you were asked to make note of a memory from earlier in the day and associate it with one of the objects on the table on screen. Which of the objects did you choose? Feather. Was this object present on the second on-screen table after the camera passed through the doorway? Don't think so. Weaver's video showed up again right before the flood, actually. I think it might have been the last thing we ever broadcast. Yeah, it was a really cool setup. Probably highly illegal, but I feel like most things physics teachers do is highly illegal. Okay, location updating effect on emotional memory. These results are kind of confusing, actually. She's either very hurried or just not taking it seriously. This reminds me of your videos, Mimi. Hurried but kind of sleepy. Portrait of grief. So, yielded no new information? That's all that needs saying, I think. Damn, this is taking a while. Daryl will be heartbroken if this is the only box we get through today. Poor thing. He's like a paper butterfly. I would say moth. Oh look, can you read the date? Damn, I can't read it either. May not even have been current. I remember for a while we had a calendar up that was like years behind. I think Daryl liked the picture. That's me. In my old apartment, I had a cat calendar from 2018. I was stuck on like December, not December, like it was like in the middle of the year, like September or something. It was like a weekly calendar, so it was just some random week into September when I stopped updating it, and it just kept hanging there forever until I moved. I think then I threw it away because I was like, I don't really want to hang up this old cat calendar, and the only reason it's still there is because I've been too lazy to take it down. Best friends. Every month there was a different pair of animals that were friends. That's adorable. I think I'm going to be sick. You don't remember that? That weird intern brought it in from home. What was his name? Who? Oh, you remember. He was always like... I mean, he would make fun of him for... Damn, he's almost completely gone from my brain. So many interns coming and going then. I guess I didn't bother even remembering their names. I wonder who was working back then this was recorded. Is there a tape of the monitoring room? Yeah, here it is. Oh, before we can check that out, should you flip the calendar forward or backwards? Forward. Oh, weird. I usually flip it backwards. Cat. Cat, cat, cat. Cat. Hi, Ezra. Here she goes. Wait, did you think... Did you follow them out? Oh, well. Here's the last extended monitoring tape from the dock when they left. See, told you he was one of those distillery guys. Guess you were right. These other guys came to pick him up for work, maybe. I don't like how they all hang out together. It's creepy. We hang out together and work together. Yeah, but it's not... They're like more than co-workers. I don't know. Just get this awful feeling whenever I see them, like I know them once, but not anymore. Like when they make up a dead person to look like an old photograph of themselves. Sort of familiar, sort of strange. Yeah, exactly. There ought to be a word for that. Bye, kitty. They look all nice enough people. I'm sure she's very happy with them. Yeah. Whoa, somebody left a scratch ticket in this file. Bad bucks. Do it. Okay, let's see. $5. It's the greatest day of my life. Oh wait, it's expired. Like, really expired, damn. I'm over it. So, this has been a bit of a memory trip for you, huh? Bet you didn't expect these old tapes to stir up so much. How's it feel for these people to come up again? Weaver Marquez and Wise Will, I mean. And what was your boyfriend's name? The one who died in college? Charlie. Yeah, it's kind of bittersweet experience, actually. Like, looking at photographs of people who've died or moved away. People that are gone. Gone but not forgotten. No, not forgotten. You're right. That was neat. Strange interlude, but very neat. Look at those easels and tables on the beach over there. Call it an open-air gallery. Probably something more upscale like Al Fresco's Galleria. Al Fresco Galleria. It's Italian. They say it's a popular design in foreign cities like Paris or New York. That may be true. The appeal is clear enough, I guess. Anyone can wander in and out. There aren't any walls or doors. There's no roof either. Just kind of thin cloth membrane. Not quite a sheet or tarp, but more like a drape of rolled out spider web. Looking like it might bunch up and dissolve if it ever got rained on. No concern down here for rain. Everybody thinks they're inside just because they can't see the sky, but it's a microclimate down here. It surely does rain. Right now, they're exhibiting some intimate photographs of small town life. There's one of a small girl playing in a puddle. She's got her back to the camera and she's fussing with something, looking at her hands. Maybe she's stuffing a message in a bottle or folding a paper boat. Reviews have been good. It's a popular show, probably because of its relevance. The town depicted in these photos was very recently flattened to make way for a big museum project. I like how small, like, this world seems big because we see all these locations, but it's so small because everything is connected. Like, everything knows about each other. Like, mushrooms. Like, that's the museum we went to, and then this lady's ex-boyfriend was Charlie, who fell off the roof, and we keep like hearing about things that are connected. It's wild. It's neat. I like it. Ooh, it's pretty. It's a pretty forest. Gosh, I'm so cold. So cold. The heating's even turned up. It's not working. Ooh, that's neat. Kate gently rolls a fallen branch and plucks something white from the underside. She holds it up for Ezra to examine. Plurosibella porogens. The common name is angel wings. Isn't that pleasant? They have a delicate springy texture and they're tasty, like sweet moss. Would you like a bite? Sweet moss doesn't sound very tasty to me. Personally, I like to be able to tell where my food came from by flavor alone. I like to taste my surroundings. I mean, it keeps me connected to the whole thing. My mushroom hunting mentor told me it's useless to pretend to know mushrooms. They escape your erudition. The more you know, the less sure you feel about identifying them. She lit a second cigarette with the embers of the first one. She trembled, sweating a little under a heavy coat. It was warmer near the doors, but she was following directions. No smoking within 25 feet of the hospital entrance. She stood by a hot dog cart parked at the edge of the sidewalk. She taps the cover of the small red book she's carrying. That's why I always bring my favorite guidebook. Kate points to a small mushroom growing in the dirt. Oh, here's an important one to recognize, though. Look, see the sort of greenish pallor on the cap? Amanita phalloides. That's Greek. Amanita means mushroom, and phalloides means, never mind. Can you eat it? Only once. It's deadly poisonous. Deathcap, that's the common name. It's killed a lot of people, this little mushroom, including a few Roman emperors. It's revolutionary. Huh. Even the Buddha died from eating a mushroom when he was very old. That's just that's just what they do. Clear away old things, make room for new things. Pretty important, right? I've always thought they deserved a little more respect. Would you like to help me look for a few more? I have sort of a shopping list. Great. Actually, just grab any mushrooms that catch your eye and throw them in the bag. Let me know when you're done and we'll see what you've got. Don't do that. Do not do that. If you ever go mushroom hunting, I'm no huge authority, but I know a lot about mushroom picking because I've done it a lot. Do not put just any mushrooms in your bag and then be like, oh, we'll see what we got. Because if one of those is poisonous, the spores are going to get on all of them, and all of them are going to kill you. So don't do that. Only pick mushrooms where you're sure you can eat them. Any of the other ones, don't touch them. And if you do take ones that you don't, go to your local mushroom test place. And they have those here. I don't know if they have them everywhere. But here, there's places, it's usually volunteers, with people that know mushrooms. You can go talk to them. You can show them the mushrooms you've got. And they'll check it out. And if any of them are poisonous, they'll throw away the whole batch and be like, sorry, one of these would kill you. All of them have got to go. So, if you ever go mushroom hunting, be very, very careful. I just stick to um, the two kinds of mushrooms that I know, which are um, porcini and the yellow ones, Pfifferling in German. Um, those are the two ones that I know pretty well, and I know some like fake ones that look like them, so I can differentiate between the ones that are not good to eat and the ones that are good to eat. All the other ones I do not touch. Way too risky. Way too risky. But let me tell you, last year, no, year before that, 2019, in the summer, my partner and I went mushroom picking in the Swiss Alps and then made a mushroom risotto with all the mushrooms that we picked. It was really good. We actually got a bunch of like good mushrooms. We got the porcini and the other ones. They're yellow. They're good. I like them. Yeah, photos of mushrooms are good. Oh, something that's also good. Also something that's good is last year my dad got me a box of mushroom soil, which is just mushroom, like it's for just regular. I don't know what their name is. They call them champignons here, which is literally just the French name for mushrooms. So I don't know the actual name, but it's just like soil that has mushroom mycelium in it, and you just water it a tiny bit, spray it with water usually, and then you just have mushrooms growing in your basement for a bit, and you can just harvest them for however long they grow, and you just have a supply of fresh mushrooms. They grow really fast and they grow a lot, so it's really neat. Have fun. That's the second rule of mushroom hunting. The first rule is ask Kate before eating anything, okay? Ezra investigates a rotting stump. The stump is ringed with overlapping shelves of mushrooms, striped brown, blue, gray, white. A caterpillar crawls along one of them. He didn't like to play in the house, and was always too cold. It seemed to store up the cold at night, and slowly discharge it into his bones during the day, while the sun bounced feebly off the windows. Kate digs in a bare patch of dirt. It's a bit muddy from flooding or the general dampness of the caves. She finds two promising specimens, a spotted brown cap and a dense bundle of dark ridges. Hot dog vendor tried to strike up a conversation with some immediately too personal questions. She decided to give him the benefit of the doubt, and maybe he considered it part of his job, she thought. He offers his customers some kind of counsel. Maybe it was to salve his guilty conscience for selling junk food outside a hospital. Kate inspects the spotted brown cap. The bottom of the cap is covered in tiny tooth-like protrusions. Kate plucks the mushroom from the dirt and puts it in her bag. He liked to play in the woods behind the house. He didn't have any friends nearby, and none of their new neighbors seemed to have children his age, so he played alone in the woods, alone, except for the deer. Ezra inspects a caterpillar. Caterpillar shuffles listlessly across the mushroom. It seems to be dragged in several of its legs. An odd brown-black thread protrudes about 2 inches out of its head. He saw strange lights in the trees, flickering purple. He kept going. Ezra carefully picks up the caterpillar and puts it in his bag. Ezra checks out the plastic bag washed up on the island. The bag is ragged and waterlogged. He nudges it with his stick, coiling up a plastic thread and spreading it out on the beach. He'd taken a knife from the kitchen, selected for its long serrated edge, meant for slicing bread. Its teeth had reminded him of a saw blade. He was determined to collect some firewood to heat the house. There are no mushrooms in the bag. Ezra closes his eyes and listens to the water and the distant clicking of bats. Kate kneels in the grass. She parts the grass with her garden knife, studiously combing the ground. Had she ever tried any alternative medicines? Acupuncture, homeopathy, Ayurveda, magical thinking? She said she'd never heard of any of those things. He fished a stray hot dog out of the pickle jar. There's no mushrooms in the grass. Kate tries to wipe some mud off her boot. Oh, you got one? Let's see it. He tripped on a protruding root and lay for a while in the mud, examining the pale upper branches of a sycamore tree, listening to the soft rumble of a faraway thunderstorm, and louder, closer, and his hair stood on end. And there was the bird. Ezra hands Kate the caterpillar he found on a tree stump. Is this a caterpillar? Oh, I see. Did you get a look at this black thread coming out of its head? That's actually a fungus. It grows in the caterpillar, eats it from the inside out, and even changes its behavior a bit. Oh no! This is gonna turn into The Last of Us. It's gonna turn into The Last of Us. They're all gonna get infected by the fungus and become fungus zombies. I see where this is going. We're gonna get reminded how bad it is to kill people and then have to kill a pregnant woman. Yeah, it's so spooky. They kill for these in Tibet. I don't have much use for them in my line of work though. Just found this one. Kate takes the spotted brown cap out of her mouth. Okay, this one's called bitter hedgehog, and it's on my list. It's great for nausea, which is basically the #1 complaint of the pregnant women I treat. Tastes kind of like black pepper. It's okay. I'll let it dry out so it's literally tough. And they just chew on it like bubblegum. So, what do your parents do for work, I mean? My dad used to sell windows. People were building a lot of new houses, and they needed a lot of windows, but then they stopped building houses. My mom worked at a bakery and a bar. Sometimes she would see the same people in the morning and the evening. Bakery closed, and she doesn't work at the bar anymore, but she still goes there a lot to see her friends. You have a family? Left home when I was very young. Not much older than you, actually. Bounced around jobs and shelters, and finally found my way down to the Echo River. Never looked back. Basically been on my own ever since then. Well, that's not really true. Just about everybody who sets aboard the Mucky Mammoth feels like family to me now, even if nobody's family. I guess if nobody's family, then everybody's family. Huh. What's this island for? It looks like someone made it on purpose. Oh right, it's kind of a nice, simple shape, pleasantly minimal island geometry. Months later, she came across a book on homeopathic medicine in a used bookstore and bought it. Thought it was mostly bullshit, but found the author's notes on the unpredictability of mushrooms immediately compelling, spiritual even. Started collecting mushrooms on hikes, never eating them, just collecting, identifying, and discarding. Eventually, she connected with the Lexington Mycological Society and began to study in earnest the medicinal uses of fungi. I'm sure it could be natural, though. I mean, I don't know if the island itself is man-made or not, but I guess I don't know much about this place, really. It's supposed to be some kind of memorial to something? Will would know more. Sorry, it's a mystery. It's a mystery. Ezra kicks the dirt. I'll search for clues. She puts out her cigarette, says goodbye to the hot dog vendor, and spends the rest of the afternoon listening to doctors, trying to understand the world as they did. There's a list of discrete injuries to be mended. Ezra examines a large stone monument. The monument is covered with lichen and painted text. Ezra inspects the lichen. Colorful lichen coats the surface of the monument, mixing with painted graffiti in some places indistinguishably. Ezra investigates a cypress tree. Ezra looks around the shore. Steps on a plastic bottle. Wooden post projects from the sand nearby. A groove is worn near the top of the post. Ezra inspects the contents of his pockets. Right, what you got? Some weird color for moss growing on a stone face monument. Wow, that's called lichen. It's actually part fungus. It's sort of a weird hybrid. Not really my area of expertise, but some of it has useful medicinal properties, and some of it is poison. The usual. It's beautiful, though, isn't it? What do you think that monument is for? Not sure anymore. Not sure anyone remembers. There's a pole in the ground over there. It's all scratched up. Oh yeah, I bet people tied their boats there. Maybe somebody who takes care of the trees. Could be the other. Could be. Or other travelers and mushroom hunters like us. It's a boat full of cats! Well, Ezra, I can't say I know what that all adds up to. Like I said, I wish Will were here. He'd have some local history for us. We can ask him back on the boat. Kate and Ezra look up at the old battleship drifting by. Oh, there it is. The Iron Pariah. Don't worry. It's just passing by. What do you think of it? Ezra's parents shook him awake. They seemed alarmed, but not immediately concerned. Led him back to the house, past the house, into the car. Dad said they were going to stay at the bus station for a while, the one with the little arcade with the car game he liked. Dad watched him closely in the rearview mirror, expecting Ezra to be excited or confused or scared, but didn't feel anything, hardly seemed to hear. In fact, he felt like he was observing the family car from a distance, from far above, from the clouds. Is it full of ghosts? Oh, I don't know, probably. I mean, no, definitely not. You don't believe in ghosts, do you? No. I've never met a young kid who really believed in ghosts. Ghosts. Yeah, I also want to be on that boat. Cats and ghosts? Sign me up, please. Never met a young kid who really believed in ghosts. Lots of old people do, though. I wonder why that is. Supposedly there's nobody even aboard, no people, I mean. There must be something on there. Life is everywhere. Rats, insects, some kind of hardy mold. Yeah, it really did sound like shrieking cats. Part of it could be flooded and host to some of the eyeless fish that live in the echo. Hey, maybe there are some mushrooms growing in there, slowly consuming military rations from over 100 years ago. Somebody told me she got close to it by accident and heard a strange wailing sound. There was a passenger on the Mammoth. She said she'd been out fishing on a rowboat. Got swept up by a current near the cluttered place. Before she knew it, the Iron Pariah was upon her, unimaginably massive up close, but eerily silent. The only sounds, she said, were the lapping of the lake water against its iron hull, and a faint sort of, well, she said a chorus of mews. I'll be damned if I know what that sounds like. Never gotten close enough to the ship myself. More mysteries. They do pile up over time, as people forget the details. Thanks for taking me mushroom picking. Mushroom hunting. You can pick apples because they're right out there in the open. Mushrooms hide. You have to hunt for them. That's such a pretty image. This is so pretty. Just the shot composition is top tier. Mushroom Island. Goodbye, mushrooms. Water. See that rough circle of rocky protrusions near the shore? It's more intricate than it looks. More than 2/3 of it is actually underwater. Haven't seen it myself, but listen to this. It's man-made. Rocks were in place according to their size, so what's visible is more or less uniformly random selection of the overall shape. Looks like it might be a spiral all told, or maybe some kind of meditative labyrinth. At the head of it is a petrified oak stump. That was moved here from above ground, of course, decades ago. That's where the ceremony took place. The Lochlucks were married here. Many frail-tongued observers said they should just go with luck or luck. or split the difference with look, or even lick, or maybe anything else. But it was never going to happen. Billy Luck and W.H. Locke moneyline at the DMV. Their driver's license photograph were mixed up by the clerk and mistakenly discovered immediately, but never corrected. Their engagement was welcome news for the family businesses, who had been looking for some opportunity to merge interests. These were the Locks of Large Animal Car Storage and the Lucks of the Luck Family Nut Company. Surely someone in some branch of those two great trees had elephant husbandry on the brain. That is all speculation. The ceremony itself was humble and perfunctory, but it must have somehow involved these rocks. Maybe they walked around them in a spiral, like a symbol of your ever-tightening bond. And it must have also involved that petrified stump. Neither family is particularly religious, but rumor persists that the officiant wore a robe. Shannon helped me fix up a mushroom stew in the kitchen. Mushroom stew, mushroom stew, mushroom stew. I had a few of these really big calves with slimy gills. I shouldn't say slimy, moist. The lady in the video called for portobello, but I prefer never to know a mushroom by name. So this is a breakfast stew? It will be, but not today. This stew is for tomorrow. It has to simmer all day, but some things are just better done slowly. We've added the anonymous mushroom, so next got the recipe video on pause right next door. I used to follow a recipe I learned from Ida herself. Best cook you're gonna meet on this river, of course. Had a few secret ingredients. She has the good sense to preserve some mystery around her cooking. Better for business. Ida is so shrewd. She swore me not only to secrecy but to ignorance. I had to promise to forget the recipe as soon as I'd cooked it. Let me tell you, it's not so easy to forget something on purpose as you might think, my friend. Not so easy. Ooh, that's a good sound. Just clanking. Clanking pots and pans. The bubbly mushrooms too. Recipe time. Crushed tomatoes, salsa, or even a little ketchup. Here's the thing, nobody has to know. Throw in some more of that spice blend we threw together earlier. Stir all that up and crack a beer. Baby, you'll be here for a while. What did she just say to do? Will's trying to make a stew right now. Before this, she was talking about the type of mushroom to use. Don't tell me. Will says it's better not to know their names. Maybe I can help him figure it out. Got kind of sucked into this program. Just like the act of just having a tape recorder and just recording whatever you come across is very nostalgic. That's what I did with my brother all the time as a kid. We just had like 2 cassette tapes and we kept overwriting them with just like new stuff that we did together. We had a microphone and a little tape recorder. We just like make weird skits and sometimes like just go out, record some weird sounds and play them again and then overwrite it with the next thing that came to mind. It was good. Even that wasn't enough to convince her, so I trained rigorously in the art of forgetting, studying for months under a master amnesiac. Finally, I learned to forget so quickly and accurately that I was able to convince Ida to share with me the most obscure secrets of her kitchen. As a demonstration of my trustworthiness, I forgot the names of my own parents right there in front of her. Every time I wanted to cook this legendary stew, I'd call Ida up on the telephone and ask her for a quick, temporary reminder. We're on the boat, we haven't got a phone line, so I have to seek out culinary wisdom on cooking videotapes of cooking shows. So, back to the matter at hand. Next, we add some crushed tomatoes. Oh, it's you. I thought, never mind. Hello. I don't have any crushed tomatoes. I have some ketchup. Did you win anything? I have misplaced a damn ticket. I'm sure it'll turn up. Hey there, could I ask you... Wait, why are you cooking? We're stopping at Sam and Ida's in 20 minutes. It's for tomorrow. Oh, well, just don't forget about it this time. Not scrubbing up any more boiled over sludge. Sorry, listen, I have a favor to ask. There's a package for the telephone exchange, and I can't get the mammoth back there. Could you deliver it for us? The guy I mentioned from the TV station, Dashiell Morse, works there now. Thought you might. I like to chat with him anyway. Thanks a lot. I've got the dinghy all ready to go. Maybe take your friend with you. One of you can. Mandy Addermortar. Oh, so we're going in there anyway. That's weird. Thanks again for your help. It's about as far as the tugboat can go. I know noise and lights disturb the bats. So, you'll pass through the bat sanctuary, which is really nice, by the way. Be sure to check out all the plaques and stuff for cool bat facts. Plenty of time. Anyway, the Echo River Central Exchange, or excuse me, Consolidated Auxiliary Switch number 30. Changed name when the power company took over. Anyway, it's just on the other side of the bat sanctuary. This package is going to Poppy. She's the operator. The operator. We'll meet you on the other side at Sam and Ida's for a scheduled early breakfast shop. Just follow the river. Can't miss it. Oh, I almost forgot. May or may not be interested. There's this kind of weird memorial sculpture on your way in. It's before the bat sanctuary. Always recommend people at least stop and take a look. It's really sort of... I don't know how to say it. You should check it out. Okay, bye! I am not turning that light off. Sorry, bats. You're just gonna have to deal with me having the light on. I will not turn this light off in the dark. Bats are cool, though. I love bats. I pet a bat before. I pet a little bat. A little baby bat. They're so cute. They do bite, though. Don't do that unless you're wearing, like, and either somebody is holding the bat and it can't bite you, or you're wearing some gloves that it can't bite through. Which then, if you're wearing gloves, the petting really doesn't feel the same. But if you're not wearing gloves and they bite you, you might get rabies, which is not good. We claimed these helmets in the names of the folks who wore them, and we placed them here in their memory, but also as a spit in the greedy green eye of that power company who bought up our old mine and traded our brothers and sisters' safety for a little more yield, but only yielded 28 good men and women dead when the walls collapsed and the tunnels filled with water. Their lungs were black, but now they're washed clean and full of water, too. and swept through hidden tunnels into some awful cave we never will find, and so we guessed the water buried them for us. So let us here be the marker for their grave. And if any son of a bitch from that color company wants to take back these helmets as company property, just you try it and see what will happen. Hey, Elkhorn, that's the mine we met in, where your folks worked. Looked like it's been here a while. I sure as hell wouldn't mess with it. Think whoever wrote this is still that angry? Sure. Angry. Mainly just hurt. Yeah, everybody's got their own way, I guess. This probably stirs up. I mean, how do you... It's fine. I'm glad this is here. People should remember this happened. Well, here we are, remembering. I don't even know if the first time around, but here I am remembering it now. What a fine memorial, I suppose. Oh no, it's two skeletons. It's two glowy skeletons from the whiskey company. What? You're looking like at me like I'm crazy. You feeling okay? Sure, it doesn't hurt anymore, my leg. It's kind of numb, like it's not there. My shoulder too, actually. That's an old one, though, from an accident. Lucky I just had some nerve damage there. It probably should have been a lot worse. You know, those guys from the distillery are just making the best of a bad situation. Just like the rest of us. Hey, one of them said to me earlier that they could help me pay care of these medical bills for my leg, you know? Get it all together on one plan, consolidated. Hey, if we can find her, maybe Weaver could get you out of this thing with the distillery. She has some experience with them. Oh, sure, it could be. Anyway, I have a feeling it'll all work out. Even for me? Hey, why not? Seems like we're getting pretty close to finding your cousin, right? Besides that, you're young and smart. Plenty of time to bounce back from whatever. Listen, that old truck I've been driving belonged to my boss, Ira, Lizette's husband. To be honest, Ira didn't like me very much, but somehow Liz got it into her mind that he would have wanted me to have that truck someday. Maybe to make up for all the yelling he did, or maybe so his ghost could hold it over me. Just one more thing to feel I owed him for. Anyway, they got their own trucks at the distillery, and now that the antique shop is closing up, got no use for that old truck. I was thinking you could take it. Sure, could keep an eye on it for you until you get straightened out. Sure, okay. Sounds good. I do not trust those skeletons. Visitors to the Echo River, Kentucky River Bat artificial hibernaculum and sanctuary are asked to take extra precautions in order to prevent the introduction of foreign unnatural fungal contaminants and the spread of white nose syndrome. Please do not visit the sanctuary during the same day in which you visited any cave known or suspect to host bats infected with white nose syndrome. Please do not leave your vehicle. If you must leave your vehicle, please remove shoes, clothes, jewelry, headwear, and eyeglasses to ensure you do not bring any foreign spores ashore with you. Please do not touch any bats or structures. The Kentucky River bat is confused by light. If you are using a lantern or other artificial light source, be aware that it may attract and confuse bats. If you are approached by bats, do not panic. Relax, stop your vehicle, and switch off your lights. Never touch a bat. I don't want to turn the lights off. Oh, I bet the skeletons must have been very confusing to those poor bats. I love the little bat houses. I actually made one of these myself one time. They're just like good places for bats to have their nests in and sleep and stuff. Bats. Bat fact. Ever talk with Romarthol? Bats do it all the time. Bats talk in extremely high frequency clicks, too high for humans to hear. Then they use their powerful ears to scan for the echoes of these ultrasonic clicks. By comparing very subtle differences in time these echoes take to come back, differences of just millionths of a second, bats are able to picture their environment with enough accuracy to catch a flying insect. Once a bat has caught an insect in its mouth, it's still flying, and so it still needs to avoid running into anything. So bats keep clicking anyway, even while they munch on a tasty bug snack. Bug snack? Bug snacks. Maybe poor table manners, but it's crucial for surviving in the dark. Wonder how the other bats know whether one of them is really talking or just chasing a bat. Sometimes it's hard to know with people too. Oh yeah, like, how about this weather? Guess there are layers to it, right? Sometimes you just need to get the other person talking so you can check their body language or hear what their voice sounds like. Find out if they're friendly, or angry, or drunk. I love the bats flying around. Bats, bats. I love the bats. The Kentucky River bat's natural diet mostly consists of moths and other small insects that breed along the river. Here at the artificial hibernaculum and sanctuary, bat fact. We use a combination of chemical snares and ultrasonic wars to repel all potentially contaminant-bearing insects and replace them with our own locally bred and spawned hypoallergenic antiseptic pseudomoths, which we call Little Grey Nothing Moth. It is funny. You may be thinking that the other moths and insects the Kentucky River bat would have been eating at are very much relieved that their natural predator has found another food source. Not so. We've installed netting and highly effective moth traps along the river where the Kentucky River bat normally hunts, to balance their escape from the food chain. But eating moths isn't the only systemic contribution these bats make. They also produce a potent fertilizer in the form of a guano that helps plant life thrive along the Echo River and shore of Lake Lethe. In order to minimize the sanctuary's impact on subterranean agriculture, we collect that precious guano here at the hibernaculum and manually distribute it through the caves. It's a full-time job. Sounds like a lot of work. It's all fake, except for the bats. Guess so. Reminds me of that guy Donald and his crew down there with the computer. Kind of bothers me, like, they're tricking the bats? Yeah, in this case, I think it's about survival. I mean, that's the bottom line. What's the difference? Like, the folks in the mine said they used to buy stuff, fans, canneries, all those little trinkets to make it bearable. There's still a lot of stuff down there. It feels cluttered but human. Just mean, all people is enough to pretend we're home, and we can make it anyways. Sure, people can, but what about bats? Maybe we'll have to teach them. Hell, what am I saying? I know about 100% more on the subject of bats now than I did when we came down here. Ooh, that's a funky looking tree. I love the bats whirring around. Like, I've been in places before where it was like this, where you just have bats flying around the light, and you just only see them in the corner of your eye, because they're so fast and so small, and they just whir and whiz around. It's great. Oh, there's a radio in the water. White-nose syndrome is still largely a mystery. We suspect that the white fungal growth which appears on bats' faces and wings irritates and confuses them, causing them to awaken early from hibernation and venture outside, depleting stored energy they need to survive through winter. But biologists are nowhere near curing the disease. It spreads quickly and it's highly fatal. In this case, white-nose syndrome has drawn some comparisons to colony collapse disorder, as suffered by bees. White-nose syndrome and colony collapse disorder are sudden, Violent and mysterious. Will honeybees and the Kentucky river bat be two more lost species, wiped out in a geological blink and forgotten to natural history? It's possible that a cure won't be identified in time, so the sanctity of this artificial hibernaculum is our best hope of preserving them. As you leave the Echo River Kentucky Bat Hibernaculum and Sanctuary, please make sure your vehicle and clothing are free of hitchhikers. God, let's hope we didn't bring that fungus with us. I do not want to be responsible for a bat genocide. Spooky. Oh, hi, I remember you. What are you doing out here? Just exploring. I like dark underground places. I'm a romantic. Really? What does that mean to you? It means I like poems and rivers and mysteries. Okay, bye. Careful up there. Can't drive your new truck if you slip and break your legs. You too. Try not to make any more bad deals while I'm gone. I'll just be floating alone down here. Just need to keep your eyes open and don't look back. Could be bypassed with another capacitor at 100 nanofarads to reduce noise. If your circuit's too noisy, you should tie those floating pins to the ground. Huh, that's a pretty good idea. They're probably picking up all kinds of radio interference. Dashiell Morse, pleased to meet you. We don't install this type of phone for customers anymore, but there are quite a few of them still in circulation. Anyway, the new system doesn't source enough current to ring these old bells, so I'm trying to come up with a workaround. Maybe a little box the customer could attach right before the wall jack. So you do still work here. On the tugboat, they weren't totally sure. Oh, well, yeah, I'm here just about every night. Is this your first time down here? Yeah, I can tell. Your eyes can't quite adjust to the light. Take some practice. Believe it or not, I've been coming here since I was a kid. For one reason or the next. Back then, this place was a train station. It's true. They had bats then too, but they were considered a nuisance. Train station? What happened to it? Well, the river shifted and this place slowly filled with water, carrying the trains away with the current. It does that, the river, and I don't begrudge it. It's a good reminder that everything we have is borrowed, even trains. Eventually, somebody at the Bureau of Reclaimed Spaces heard this place was still empty, so they moved the phone company in here. I returned here as a young lineman, a skill I picked up in wartime, running telephone wires behind enemy lines. We used trees instead of poles. I missed that, actually. They were easier to climb. It's just as well. I'm in no shape to be climbing anything these days. The closest I get is patching up the wiring in the crystal room for the WEVP folks. You ever know a girl named Weaver? Sure, Weaver Marquez. That's funny. I was just thinking about her. Yeah, I met her a couple times at the TV station. Suppose I didn't know her too well. She handled the archives, and I was helping with wiring and stuff. She really seemed to know her way around all that gear, though. Had a head for signals, I think. No idea where she ended up. Would have guessed she's probably not too popular around the station anymore, but always liked her. Listen, miss, if you're interested in WEVP, you should go talk to them directly. We're always looking for volunteers. Take the ferry over to the silo. There's a mail stop there. They don't have a sign or anything. Just ask around. Guess I'll get back to this damn old ringer. Poppy's just a little further down if you're dropping off that package. Nice chatting to you. Abel and Eloise, the lovers' couriers. Bred for racing, Abel and Eloise spend most of their lives as carrier pigeons in the employ of the Echo River Avian Post. He retired here after Abel was disfigured in an accident with a light aircraft, but old habits were hard to die. Abel and Eloise would pick up scraps of paper from the ground to trash, even pull out of pockets, deliver them to the other people nearby, to delight or embarrassment. Word spread, and travelers passing through this tunnel began to come prepared with love letters, poems, and other written desires to pass along indirectly through these pigeons. After a hard day's work, Abel and Eloise would always be found nestled closely together in a disused newspaper stand set aside for their habitation. And that's where we left them. Oh, that's cute. Just set it right over there by the lamp, sweetie. Thanks. Actually, just a minute. Who does that parcel claim to be from? It's weird. There's no label on it. Well, if we're lucky, it's chocolates from a secret admirer and not a snake from an assassin. So who are you? You work from the post office or the tugboat? I only asked because I haven't seen you before. Was that you I heard chatting down the hall? Just doing Kate a favor. Dropping out this package. Kate! I love Kate. She helped deliver both my nieces. One in a hospital and one at the base of a mossy moonlit oak. It was beautiful. I love Kate. I think Loretta's granddaughter used her too. Oh, Loretta used to work here, actually. I think quite a few of our former operators have relied at some time on Kate's services. Well, now I guess they'll have more time with their little ones. As you can see, all their chairs are empty. It wasn't always like this. When I came back to work at the Echo River Central Exchange, there were 12 of us. Loretta, Edna, Meg, Cara, Marie, Lois, Liz, Hester, Angie, Wilma, Connie. I was number 12. Connie and I were hired on the same day, but she showed up early. Marie finished college, and Hester was fired for snapping at a rude caller, but he had it coming. I heard she did that just fine on her own, so they hired Beryl, Shayna, and Sachiko, which brought us up to 13. That was as many operators as we've ever had here at one time. Power company came along, buying up all the lines, and one day they took the exchange as a throw-in, like it was nothing. Nothing. And they started phasing us out. Edna, Meg, Kara, and Lois left on Friday evening, and were asked not to come back on Monday morning. Beryl saw the writing on the wall, and quickly found employment as a private PBX, and Jaina and Liz stopped adding calls, and write up some kind of best practices document instead, was their final task as exchange employees. Some of the girls were reassigned to other divisions. Connie, I think, was checking residential meters. Sachiko and Wilma were moved into energy sales, cold calling businesses to see if they needed to upgrade their electricity plan. At least they were still on the phone. It was just Loretta, Angie, and me. We were swamped. Hours were hell and hurt on the throat. A voice with a smile became a croak. I was gargling worm salt water in the break room, sipping from a thermos full of hot honey broth stashed under my chair. Oh, I brought a lot of extended techniques to the switchboard on those days. Sounded pretty good to me. Yeah, I'm impressed. So, where was I? Extended switchboard technique. All about timing your breath. Some girls got lightheaded doing too many calls in a row. That upbeat dynamic inflection they made us use to keep everything intelligible. It's very physical. So after a few months, it was just me. A new automation strategy was announced, and this place was rechristened. Consolidated Auxiliary Switch number 30. It's automated. What do you do here? Not fully automated. There's still gaps in functionality that need a human touch, and it's really all about touch here. Sound is a vibration. Touch you feel in your ear. So my voice is my touch. When we're talking, we're touching, even on the phone. That's an electric touch, an intimate little shock that makes your tiny hairs tremble. That's not even what I mean when I say it's all about touch here. When the power company first tried automating this old exchange with fancy transistor arrays, the switchboard caught fire, was just too much too fast, so they tried using some clunky old mechanical relays, but then the calls were getting mismatched and out of sync. It was a nightmare. Their techniques determined that the phone system down here had been designed ad hoc over decades around a specific tempo of its human operators. So, short of replacing the whole thing, not to mention all the wiring, they'd have to work out the exact timing of every little human gesture that goes into routing a phone call. That, officially, is my role here. I run the switchboard for the whole exchange. Once a work of 12, I'd like to remind you, they have some kind of machine somewhere that tracks how long it takes me to do each little thing. Caller never hears my voice now. They dial, my little indicator light switches on, and I make the connection. Interesting. What's the machine like? Oh, it's funny. Never actually seen it. It just told me to carry on patching while it collects and collates in the background, till it's ready to take over. There's a dark thought. What if there is no cheap machine that's going to replace me? What if it's cheaper to just keep me here, filling in for the rhythm of the operators? What if I'm the cheap machine? Why don't you go quit? In this economy? No, you're probably right. Working in silence for peanut shells, waiting to be replaced by a robot. Doesn't sound very dignified, does it? Reality is that I've been working here for my whole adult life. Came here as a girl, and I'll leave as a middle-aged woman. Don't know if I'm ready to be her yet. Oh, the parcel. Right over there by the lamp is fine. Thanks for dropping that off. Take care. Think of me when you dial 0. No! God damn it. God damn it, they got him. She turned on dinghy alone. She had a strong and sudden urge to shut the motor off and let the current take her. She couldn't work out where the impulse came from, so she did her best to resist it. She's not alone, though. She has Blue, right? I hope. I hope she took Blue with her and didn't leave her at the fucking phone place. She met a painter of shipwrecks. He never worked from photographs, so his paintings could be divided into 2 categories. There were the ones he painted from life, and the Echo River was a very good source for these because its current was so unpredictable and the tunnels so dark. He rendered these in oil paint by lamplight, working for hours cross-legged on the porch of his houseboat/studio. Then there were the ones he painted from memory, mostly the memory of a single wreck he encountered as a much younger man, picking up litter where the coastal highway cleaves to the rocky beaches of Northern California. These were done in watercolor. He preferred to work on them in the morning, in a room he rented near the airport in Louisville. Had some postcard-sized sketches in charcoal, too. The Iron Pariah. Wasn't a wreck exactly, but it felt right. Tried to scribble one down every time he encountered it, though it was so unpredictable and he was so focused on details, he usually just ended up with a handful of inscrutable marks. She met a guitar player pedaling a floating bicycle with his dog in tow. He said they took turns. The water was cold and the floating bicycle, while technically marvelous, wasn't quite buoyant enough for both of them. Swimming is hard work. Hardest work that dog had ever done, he expected. They'd been traveling this way for most of the night, struggling through the icy water, stopping to recover when he could find a rock large enough to start a small campfire. He had his belongings stuffed into a weathered guitar case at the end of a thin rope. It floated pretty well, so he only had to keep an eye on it and occasionally free it from a rock or some driftwood it was caught on. She invited him to ride a ways on the dinghy. He appreciated the offer, but they weren't in a hurry. She met a flower salesman on a raft. He floated alongside in buoyant pots, bobbing untethered. He corralled him with a long pole in a stream of small adjustments. She leaned out over the water to get a closer look. He just started work for the day. Hi, how you doing? Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're having a good day and are doing well. First was a simple mass of white petal flowers of many different types. She thought it looked wistful, but he agreed. Ooh, how's family? Glad to see you again as well. Always good to see ya. Stretch. Next, a haunting bundle of dead nettles, arranged in the Roman style. He was feeling distracted when he first designed it, but some customers found it joyful. Finally, a simple mixture of dandelions, made to look natural. He suggested it would make an appropriate secret admirer bouquet. He drifted away with the current, fishing his flowers along with the raft. She gave in, shut off the motor, and floated for a while. Then she knew what she'd been craving, a moment of silence. Scene 9. Salmonitis. Ooh. I've been on a boat like this. Or a raft like this. I would highly recommend it. It's really, really good. It's like, it's sort of a visual novel, but it's really, really, really well written, and all the visuals are just so striking and beautiful. And if you get the chance, all the whole game is out now. It took a really long time to get completed, but it's all out, and I'm only in Act 4 of 5, so Act 5 is gonna be sometime later this week, maybe tomorrow. But so far, really, really good game. I would highly, highly recommend it. A little sad and nostalgic, but also making some good friends on the way, and there's a very good dog in it. Just in time. We've already finished eating, but we're about to place a to-go order for Clara. She's back on board getting ready for her show. Take a look at the menu. I'm sure there's something you'll like. Ida's in a bit of a local celebrity for her cooking, I mean. Hey, Ezra was just talking about you. He's around the corner playing a video game. Maybe you go let him know you two are back, or where is the old man anyway? I feel like every scene in this game is just like a really good like painting. It's so nice. Ah, bad luck. You'll get it next time. Hey, got a quarter? He's almost got this. It's true. Sure. I have 1 quarter. Thank you. So where's... They took him. Damn. Yeah, he really got himself in a situation there. Yeah. Gonna go sit down. Well, the food is good here. I think everyone else is finishing up, but could probably get something to go. Right, Claw Maestro. Let's give it another shot. So let's see what's on top of the pile here. There's a stuffed octopus, a plastic bag full of clamshells, a cowboy hat, and some big headphones. That octopus has a leg wrapped around a boombox underneath it. Shells are pretty clear, but I don't know if the claw can really grip the bag well. Cowboy hat is in the corner. It's kind of tricky to tell if it's wedged in or not. Those headphones might be a good bet, but I can't see the cord. Could be wrapped around something. What are you going to try for? I want the cowboy hat. Sounds good. I hope we can get the claw back far enough to get a grip on it. Okay, when I put this quarter in, you'll have about 8 seconds to grab your prize. Hat is in the back right corner. Let me know if you need help lining it up. Got a slightly different view of the field from up here. Ready? Here we go. Johnny inserts the coin and the machine awakens. Up. A 7. Up. Too far to the left. Alright. Right. Ah, it's no good. It's hard to line it up just right. Maybe next time you should stand on a chair. Hey, listen. Sounds like that old man you were following around, guess he had to leave. Is he okay? Yeah, he's okay. I mean, I'm sure he could be better, but I don't think we need to worry about him. Anyway, I don't know what kind of plans you have now, but if you need help figuring out your next move, you can always talk to me and Miss Junebug. Just want to make sure you know that. Could I keep going with you? Hey, I've got no objection. We've had a pretty ad hoc thing going on, me and June back. I'd have to talk to her, but bet you're welcome to tag along for a while if you're into it. Hey, maybe we still have time to poke around this place a little. We have some pretty wild stuff in here. Hey, did you see this? They keep a table full of fake food over here. I've never known why. Actually, I think it might be real food coated with shellac or something. Preserved. Oh, and look, this tentacle-looking thing is half-eaten. This somebody's meal that they didn't finish? Dare you to take a bite. You first. Okay. Whoa, hold on, I'm just kidding. Sam and Ida preserved this half-eaten meal. It must have been pretty important to them, right? Maybe it belonged to someone he cared about, like a beloved uncle had a mid-meal stroke, so they kept it in his memory. Yeah, like these sunflower seeds my folks left behind. Oh, I'm sure your folks are fine, though. You worried about them? No, they're gone. There is nothing to worry about. I just missed them. Okay, well, I don't know what the deal was with the sable, but sometimes people do weird stuff because they miss someone. Weird. Somebody thought it was his truck and delivery and all. Was. That's what she's saying, but he gave it to her before they took it away. But you're going to deliver it anyway? Why? He's my friend. He needs my help to finish his job. That's right. He's our friend too. Johnny and I will help you unload when we get there. Lift up your legs, Cricket. Yes, ma'am. Oh, in the back, the poster. It's the same poster as was in the quiz facility. So how was everything? How was that sweet cave snail? Devastating. You're a killer, Ida. Well, can't take all the credit. Sam came across a whole cave snail colony down there about a year back, and we've been leaving rock candy for them to gorge on since. Just started harvesting earlier this month. It's all about patience down here. Everything grows more slowly in the dark. There's a fish in Lake Lethe that lives up to 200 years. Its flavor profile only develops at about 75. Got a pot of bones in there that's been stewing for at least a week. Don't even remember why I put them on. Come to think of it, I don't remember what kind of bones they are. Oh, we need one for the road. Clara said she wanted, something primordial, she said. What does that mean? She thinks she meant something from very deep in the lake. Oh, could be. Here, you pick. I'm no good at this. She'll have maybe aged blind cave fish and a small salad. Good choice. Your friend will love it. I'll have that right out, sweetie. Ezra leans over the table and carefully examines the preserved food and drink. He runs his finger along the grayfish claw. Yeah, it's really like there's, and I don't know, like obviously if I played this again, I would realize, but it's like it all is so organic. It never feels like it's like a video game conversation. It's all just like, I guess because of how it's framed, because it's like you make different choices for different characters all the time, and it all just feels like very smooth. It's really neat. Whose food is this? It's the diver's table, and this was the diver's meal. This food is about 15 years old, it's true. Things were different then. Nobody came to eat here. We were fighting just to keep the lights on. Sam, my husband, Sam was depressed. He couldn't catch anything. That was part of the problem. Most of what we served was shipped and frozen or dried, and I just threw it in the fryer. We've both come a long way since then. Well, you two young men came in for dinner. Seasoned divers, they said. Over 10,000 hours between them in Lake Lethe alone. They'd been out all day salvaging parts from a riverboat wreck and had worked up a fierce hunger, they said. Ordered the whole menu without even looking. It was a short menu in those days. Sat them right here and went back to the kitchen. Sam was at the next table, doing his Sudoku and drinking malt liquor, his usual routine at the time. An hour later, I was cleaning up, when Sam came bursting into the kitchen. Ida, he said, kind of frantic. These divers are still hungry. Bring them another course. And I said, they already ordered the whole menu. Make something new. Keep making up dishes. Whatever. Just keep bringing out food. So I did until small hours of the morning. I made up so many new dishes that night I could write a book. And it was good, inspired. But I was working so hot and fast at the burning edge of inspiration, I didn't think to write any of it down. I was so wrecked with exhaustion for the next day. I knew I couldn't remember what all I'd done in the kitchen. Sam thought we could take a photograph of the leftovers, but we couldn't get the lighting right, so we just shellacked the whole table. Now, when I need inspiration for the menu, I come over and look here and think about all those ingenious dishes I threw together for those divers. That's so neat. I love that. Of course, they didn't pay their full bill. I heard one of them complaining to the other. Let's just pay half and let them change the other half to whatever demon, charge whatever uh, demon in the kitchen kept making food faster than we could ask for it. But it all worked out. Things have really turned around since then. This place is actually pretty popular now. The success in our expanded menu inspired Sam too. He started bringing back the most magnificent ingredients from his nightly dives. Better get to work. Stay right there, sweetie, and I'll bring you a treat on my way back out. Ooh. Well, buddy, guess you're the catch of the day, the one and only. So what are you? You look like, well, some kind of eel, I guess. Kind of a mopey little guy, huh? Yeah, I can see it in your eyes. You smell like sort of buttery? Well, that should be just fine. Skin feels like sandpaper. Huh. Well, she'll figure something out. I think I'll call you Snake Eel. Welcome to Sam and Ida's, the one and only Snake Eel. Hope you enjoy your stay. I mean, not too much. You ever seen a creature like me before? Pretty far down there. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm the first, except there were two divers who went before me long ago. Maybe that was before your time. How old are you anyway, I wonder? They ate here once back in the bad old days. 2 young guys. Could have been brothers, maybe. Was over in the corner with my coffee and crosswork. I hadn't been able to catch a thing, so I'd just fried up something from frozen. Well, these guys were hungry enough to eat it and ask for more, and they did at least much talking as eating. At least as much talking as eating. See, like I said, they were divers, and like I said, might have been brothers. Had some kind of rivalry going on between them or something. Ida was about to write up their check, but I slipped calmly and quietly into the kitchen for a minute and told her to just keep bringing out food. Figured they wouldn't notice, caught up in their boasting as they were, and I wanted to listen. They went back and forth for hours about all the deep and dangerous dives they'd been on, new tunnels they'd discovered, all the weird creatures they'd encountered at the weirdest depths of Lake Lethe. It's like a dance, no, like a boxing match. Each story went deeper than the last, and I listened to every word of it, memorized every description of every tunnel and diving route they'd discovered. That's my map now, you see, for 15 years. Been using routes those 2 young divers discussed right there at that table. Yeah, I could write a guidebook to the depths of this lake, but I don't dare. Somebody would steal my good diving spots, and then where would we be? See? People come here from all over just to try our daily catch, because they know it's unique. Ain't you proud? Since I can't write any of it down, I just preserved that table where they had their meals, so I can look at it to jog my memory. Like they were eating pickled crab when they talked about the shipwreck full of salamanders. Pretty clever, huh? It's my own secret code. Well, I'll be straight with you, snake gill. There's one feature of this arrangement that I find unsettling. In fact, there's a decent amount of sleep over it. I told you those guys were competing, right? One-upping each other. I mean, each getting wilder and more adventurous as they traded tales. Well, I navigate mostly in the dark down there, just going by touch and a kind of mental picture I can construct from their detailed boasts. And every time I explore a new diving spot from those recollections, I have to weigh it all against the risk that I'm headed right into a dangerous falsehood. One of those men could have felt for a moment like he was losing some ground in their little duel, so I could have slipped a fake one in there. Maybe told a fib about some dive he went on and found a colony of blind shrimp living in a discarded refrigerator. When I get down there, a diving bell cracks open on a sharp rock, where he said that fridge would be, and that's the end of Sam and Salmonitis. Be honest, possibility puts the fear of death in me every time I touch water. Oof, that's scary. Hey Sam, good haul tonight? We'll see what she can make of it. Yeah, pretty good, I think. Hit some trouble just by the narrow tunnel. Kind of fast-growing freshwater barnacles just about sealed it up. Picked away for half an hour before I gave up and went around the other way. But got to catch today, that's the important part. That's what people travel for. What's to catch today? This here's a snake eel. Mopey, sandpapery old eel. Don't know how she'll fix him, but that sandpapery quality ought to do something for, what do you call it, mouthfeel? We stay for a drink. Got a dark rum that goes well with coffee. Think we're about to leave, but thanks. Just passing through. Hey, aren't we all? Oh, she's got your food ready. Y'all enjoy your meal, alright? Music. Gosh, the music segments are always so good.
This world is not my home. I'm just passing through. My treasures and my hopes are placed beyond the blue. Many friends and kin have gone on before, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Oh Lord, you know I have no friend like you. If heaven's not my home, oh Lord, to heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. I have a loving mother.
Right. Ooh, it's getting pretty late. It's a long chapter. Wonder if we'll have time for the intermission. We'll see. See that? Looks just like a swirling mess of garbage, doesn't it? Well, that's what it is. Don't know why trash seems to collect right there of all spots on the lake, but it's always been like that. Everyone just navigates around it, like it was an island or something. Look closely. You can see some wood scraps from the old canoe rental shop. Gemini Canoe and Firework. Yeah. The place was run by twin sisters, Cassie and Paula, I think? It was years ago. Used to rent out canoes to tourists, campers, and pilgrims. Folks like that. Must have had some time and kind of deal with the distillery. You'd always see a couple of Hard Times boys posted up on the dock, peddling small bottles to their customers. Cassie and Paula worked these old canoes to death, wrung every penny out of them. They'd only take one out off commission, and was truly demonstrably dangerous. You couldn't get a refund on your boat, unless your boat was visibly taking on water. Side business in firewood was a stroke of minor genius. Yeah, this cluttered place makes a decent local museum. It's as good a history as I could ever tell. We arrived at a small houseboat neighborhood that sometimes hosted concerts for the pleasure of its residents. And Clara was scheduled that night to perform. Scene 10. It's a very special tape player you have there. It can play forwards or backwards, slow or fast. You may discover some completely new sounds tonight, Ezra. So, you ready? Yes. Excellent. I can tell you have a good intuition for sound, and that's very important in this piece. Any questions before we begin? How do I know what to do? Play your tape player. You can play any tape at any speed and volume, even backwards. Just listen to the music and use your intuition, or maybe better if you try not to listen to the music. This technique is called indeterminacy. That's it. Alright, let's begin. Cat. Slowly at first, but gradually speeds up. This is the exact kind of music they would play at a theater bar. Just saying. Let me tell you, I've been to a lot of theater bars. You can tell a theater kid made this. Let's try to pots and pans. Backwards very slowly. My best time at the theater bar of my theater that I was in was, I've told the story before, I'm sure, was open mic night, where a bunch of people playing, and at some point, the school principal showed up with a saxophone, started playing saxophone on stage, while just a bunch of theater kids were in the corner smoking weed. It was pretty good. It's kind of bizarre, but yeah, it was great. Whole like um the two guys from theater started a hip hop band. It was just the two of them doing everything, I think. Called Money Sex Geld, which is money sex money, but the last one is German. Short MSG, and they'd make absolutely trash music, and they'd play it at the bar, and like a lot of people showed up for their like two concerts or three concerts that they did, and they were good. Like they were good concerts. The music, horrible, trash, but the just like energy of the music and everything was great. What do you think about when you're playing? Try not to think about anything at all. My violin teacher used to say, "Why make art? To quiet the mind." Still, not very good at it, quieting my mind. When I'm playing this piece, I'm usually thinking of my uncle, Andreas. Never knew him when I was a child, except in postcards, but we became very close over the last few years. He was a collector of sounds, like you. Traveled and recorded songs of birds, of rivers, of city traffic, of crooked moonlight highways. He sold his sounds by mail order to movie studios and private collectors. They ended up in films and television shows mostly, dislocated and reattached to other images. So, no quiet in his mind, sorry to say. Hope you'll continue making tapes, Ezra. I'm sure there are many more people who would enjoy listening to them on this river and elsewhere. Still not over. I thought that was the end. I thought that would have been the end. Met a photographer once. I mean, one in particular. She even took my portrait. Can't imagine why. Said would immortalize me. That was a metaphor, of course. Meant I'd never be forgotten. She was disembarking not far from here, actually. The film fell out of her bag, and was borne away by the current. I was working on deck at the time. She shot me a sad, apologetic glance, but I wasn't bothered. It's no shame to be forgotten. The river never ends. Silo of late reflections. Yeah, I don't know if we can make the intermission today. We'll see. We only have like half an hour left. What's this place like? Dogwood Drive. It's in a small town, or really don't know. Got the manifest the old man had in his truck here. Lizette's Antiques. Mail order delivery. No return address. Shipping address 5 Dogwood Drive. Packing list. It's just numbers. Guess the inventory numbers of the antiques he was supposed to be delivering. Anyway, glad you're coming with us. Yeah, I'm always eager to see more of the country. I'd enjoy the company. I'll have to find a bus or a train to get on to Nashville by evening. Well, you have buses everywhere, right? Or hey, I could drive you to Nashville. Seems I have a truck now. Only, how are we going to get up these stairs? That's quite a staircase. There's no way to get this truck up these stairs, is there? Not with that attitude. No, there isn't. Looks like we're making the rest of this trip on foot. Is it safe to just leave the truck here? Sure, I don't think anybody but us could get it started again. All right, Cricket, let's get this delivery packed and tied into bundles. We're hiking it upstairs. What's in there? Antiques, I guess. Antiques. Yeah, antiques are... It's like junk, but people will pay for it. Oh. Sorry, guess you'll be taking the bus after all. It's okay. It'll be an adventure. Tired? Don't worry, lady. We're almost there. Ooh, that's pretty. It's such... Like, again, I know I keep saying this, but, like, just look at this. It's so, so pretty. Oh, okay. That sounds good. I'll do that then. Yeah, this is such a good shot. This is it. Is this the end? End of Act 4. Dum dum. That was 3 hours. Right. Got the intermission in Act 5 left. Do that tomorrow. Probably. And if not tomorrow, then Friday. But we'll see. See how it works out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being in chat, keeping me company during this cool game. And I will see you the next time. Bye bye.